Here with Nate Jackson after coming back from a big win at the Medved, two-time All-American, assistant coach over at Princeton University, first senior level freestyle gold medal on an international stage. Tell me a little bit about the experience.
So Minsk was awesome. So Minsk, Belarus, it's a really modern city, and people really cared about wrestling there. Obviously, it being used to be a part of the Soviet Union, so it was really good to be out there. There's a lot of history behind the tournament, and they really hyped it up leading up into the competition. So it was really good for me to just go win. I haven't won a tournament since last time we talked. I don't know, like Keystone Classic or something.
Yeah.
So it felt really good. It's good to come back home and win for my family and be able to set out. You set out to win, and when you come back empty-handed, sometimes that doesn't feel great. But to be able to get everything that I wanted out of the tournament, and then I obviously take those lessons, and there's areas I still got to get better in. But doing that on a win is a lot better than doing it losing.
Totally. Tell me a little bit about your prep. You're a coach at a big time program. Are you focused 70% on training, or do you think that you had 100% preparation? I know you got recruiting, you got to put up with Coach Ayers. I mean, Dubuque, these guys are no, but seriously, like how much of your time is split?
So a lot of conversations lead up to this type of thing, right? There's times where I am way more involved with the program, and there are times where I'm way more involved with my wrestling. But for the most part, like there is no balancing. Like it's really hard. So when I'm in like the office, I try to be 100% a coach, and then when I'm in my training, I have to be 100% in on that. Yeah, it's been really good. My training situation going up into the tournament was really great. I was able to get to the OTC, learn from Zadok and learn from a bunch of coaches out there, and then really spend some time just kind of figuring out what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be as a wrestler. It was good, picking the brains of like Jordan Burroughs at OTC. He's there at every practice. He's after practice for an hour trying to figure out his own technique. So it's really good, like just hanging around and watching him figure some of those things out. I was able to kind of pick his brain about like pace and things that really helped me. I took with me, and they really helped me during this competition.
So one of the things that I always liked about your wrestling when you were in Indiana is just your neutral game. And did you ever at that time think you were going to be at this level? Like coaching at a big time program, winning international match or tournaments.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm probably weird, and like people probably think, this guy is pretty weird, and he's really ambitious. But I honestly figured I would be an Olympic champ at some point.
Okay.
I wrestle really hard. I've always tried to just focus on improvement and scoring points. Scoring points for me is fun. Wrestling, when I watch guys and they win by 1 point, those matches are grind, and there's probably a lot of technique and things that go into it. But for me, I've always been someone who wants to be open, who wants to be exciting for whatever base there is for me. I want to represent myself well and just be really aggressive. I think that's really good too. Being a coach, our guys see that, and we kind of promote that brand as well. Being exciting, scoring points, being aggressive. I think that's the best way to grow the sport. And I just find it way more enjoyable than trying to hang on to leads.
Gotcha. Now I've talked to a lot of coaches over the years. Almost everyone tells me a couple years after they're out of college, if they're at a competitive program, they feel like they're a much better wrestler. Could you beat yourself? Where would you be if you were wrestling yourself 3 years ago versus now?
I don't know. So if I was wrestling myself 3 years ago, I'd probably just kill myself. Um, if I was wrestling myself 2 months ago, I'd probably tech myself.
No
So
kidding.
I'm making a lot of improvements. I've made a lot of mental jumps, especially since turning over to college. You have a lot more behind you. You've seen a lot more. You're able to remove yourself from everything, and sometimes being just a selfish college guy worried about yourself, you don't see as many techniques. And right now, I just pull from everybody. So like I pull from my guys all the time. Like, hey man, what are you doing there? Because that could work for me. and that can work for the next guy who comes in the room that needs to be coached up. So, yeah, you're going to get better at wrestling, and you're going to get more savvy, and you figure out a lot more things. As far as staying in shape, those same college coaches are probably out of shape, so they probably wouldn't do much better than they were doing a couple years ago. But the guys who are staying on their programs and routines and actually like competing for something, like, you're going to make jumps.
Gotcha. You said you made a bunch of mental jumps. Can you share anything specific?
I think the biggest mental jump I've made is just the way I compete, the way I prepare to compete. I was always really lousy at the way I warmed up before matches. So certain things that we do at our program have really helped me get into a routine where, in that routine has helped me mentally. Able to feel like I'm going to be, my best product is going to be out there, and I can put my best foot forward. So that's been the biggest thing. And then there's just a lot of different things and ideas from our coaching staff that I take with me. So, yeah.
Talking about your warm up, it's something that, like, kids, I'm just talking like kids who are watching this, junior high, high school, it gets neglected. Tell me a little bit about your warm up and preparing for a match.
So I need to get my heart rate up. I wrestle at a really high pace, but I start off fast. Every match I've ever wrestled in, I'm gonna probably score within the first couple of seconds. That's always how I've been. But we train our bodies to go through a full practice before we do live, and you got to kind of put yourself through that before you get on a mat in competition as well, or your peak. Your peak might be high, just as high as it usually is, but then you start to plateau and flatten out really quickly. So just to be able to wrestle at a high level for a long time, I put myself through a pretty good regimen and warm up. It's a lot like a practice.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do similar to practice, like a 20-minute drill session, and then right before my match, I'm doing jump high knees, things like that, foot fires, whatever it takes to get my heart rate back up and just get ready to go.
Gotcha. Now, flying over to Minsk, did the travel affect you? And were you cutting weight at this time? And did you have a strategy for all of this?
Yeah, so we got plus 2 kilos. I'm coming up from 79 kilos, so I don't cut really any weight right now. Right now, I'm trying to put on weight. Okay. So the plus 2 kilo thing for me was a bummer. I was like, oh, that sucks. I weighed in. I was about half a kilo under the first day, and I was like a kilo under on the second day. As far as the travel goes, I don't really sleep well at hotels. I never really sleep well away from home.
Yeah.
Before the first day, I probably slept an hour, so that sucked. I tried to just stay relaxed. And then the second day, I got like 4 hours of sleep, so I was really excited about that.
4 hours is something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your trainings. You were at the OTC. Tell me a little. And the NJRTC had 3 medalists I think these were the first medalists. You're like big wave.
International medalists.
Yeah.
So we actually had one more.
Okay.
Anthony Ashnault won Pan Am Championships earlier in the year.
Okay.
Just so he's not slighted. He was the first one to win an international gold medal and an international medal. But then this week was really good for Tyler Graf and Pat Downey, just leading up into their world championships. I think they needed this. The match that Graf lost was against a Russian. I think he's number 3 in the country in Russia, which is unreal. Like, he's really good,
yeah.
But Graf was all over his legs. Just couldn't figure it out. I think that he made some adjustments, wrestling back and able to take bronze. I think that's really good for him. And then Downey, man, he's really good when he's confident. And not having an international win for him has been really tough. So to be able to break through and do that was huge for him. I'm a pretty confident guy. I figured that it was just a matter of time before I got my hand raised and won a tournament. So I'm just trying to stay the course. I'm really excited. I had a really good plan going into this Olympic year, and Medvedev was a big part of that. So right now it's just continuing to stay the course and just trust Reese. Reese is doing a great job. He's doing a really good job, and you see it. You know, the guys, we really believe in ourselves. We're really a close group. So just trying to keep it going for this Olympic year and then beyond.
Who are your primary workout partners?
So yeah, my workout partners consist of Pat Downey for the most part and CJ Brucky.
Okay.
CJ is really good. He's growing too. He actually was All-American at the U.S. Open, and he had not been an All-American in NCAA. So
yeah,
I think that was a huge breakthrough for him. He's getting better, and he's a great team guy. Like, he kind of keeps us together. He lives with Pat. Him and Pat Downey live together, and they're really good friends. So he's a part of our success, and his time is coming as well.
Can he take his brother?
So it's pretty funny. Oh man, that's pretty funny. So him and Pat, they're probably about 20-pound gap or maybe 15-pound weight gap.
Yeah.
But I swear, when Pat wrestles CJ, he might get the first takedown, but CJ always gets the last takedown.
Really?
And it's like they go back and forth. It's still that big brother dynamic a little bit.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm like, dude, Pat should kill CJ. But CJ, I think he gets the better of Pat.
That's all right. Cool. Good inside. Yeah. I just on an aside, when you're walking around like coaching in the Princeton room, do you ever break out short jokes with Sean and Joe or?
So since Joe is so much shorter than everybody, if you bring out a short joke on anybody, it just indirectly affects Joe. Joe could be across the room and you start talking about somebody short, and it's going to affect him, The good thing is he's a good sport about it, and he dishes it out as well. So he actually talks more about tall jokes
really?
than short jokes. So I don't know. Maybe I'll write some and give them to him later.
Yeah, he's got thick skin. Now, you've been in Jersey for a couple years now. Do you have an opinion about what people call their breakfast food?
No, I'm a smoked sausage guy from Chicago, so I try to stay out of it the best I can. Usually when I put my 2 cents in, it doesn't go well. But I've only had Taylor ham, and Taylor ham is really good.
Okay.
That was a good.
Coach is going to give you a $5 bill. So the college season's coming up, but also the Olympic training cycle. So when are we going to see you compete next? And will you have an altered coaching season because of the Olympic trials process?
So that's a conversation that me and the staff have been talking about a little bit. And it's probably going to be some alteration, but for the most part, I'm in there with the guys. If I miss a competition because of a competition, the guys are really great about filling those gaps and whatnot. But I think my next competition is probably going to be Bill Farrell, which is right NYC. It's really close. And then just going right into the Open. The Open's in December this year. So
is the Farrell in November?
The Farrell's in November,
okay.
Yes.
It opens in December. Okay.
Yeah, so if it wasn't in December, honestly, like the guys were talking about going back to Vladikavkaz. I'm actually good on that. Like, I don't want to go to Russia right now. I feel really good, and those guys are tough. But I think that Bill Farrell will be really good, especially this being an Olympic year. It's going to be a lot of guys there. It'll probably be a big year, big turnout. A lot of tough guys. So, I'm just trying to use these things as stepping stones. December is when everything is really important, and we're going to be right into it. But the training has started for me since trials. So since trials, I was going to take a little time off. I had a couple conversations with some really good wrestlers, and they were like, don't take time off. This is the time to get better. I'm really happy that I listened. I didn't take any time off, and then I was able to wrestle at Medved. I'm going to be Pat Downey's training partner for World Championships, so just experience some of those things and to be around those guys and kind of figure out how they do it. Because I see myself being there. I see myself being there really soon. So it's just about making those things and implementing these, whatever I need to jump that next level. I've been getting a lot better really fast. So my biggest task is to keep getting better and don't slow down.
Hey, tell me a little bit about Downey. Like, I'm a Downey fan. I think he's one of the more interesting cats in
Good.
wrestling. Is there anything you can, give us, like maybe slightly embarrassing?
Oh my God.
I mean, other than his little sister Marissa can take him in a match, but that's beside
Oh
the
my
point.
gosh. So I got a story actually. So Pat Downey calls in. We're practicing before World Team Trials. World Team Trials. He sat out because he won the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
So maybe 2 days out from leaving to go to competition. So maybe a total of 4 days out. Downey had to miss the last 2 days before we left for practice because he got a root canal. So he got a root canal. He tried to wrestle. He was in too much pain to wrestle. He was sore, and then he went out there and won World Team Trial. So that should give you a little idea about he's a strange cat. He's a really strange cat. I love him. I think he's a really good guy. Him being with us, I think has brought out a I don't know, maybe I think college wrestling is different, and college wrestling is different for each guy. Sometimes some guys don't fit that. You are just one piece of the big machine. Some guys they stand out, and they're going to stand out, and they're going to be who they are. He's a really good guy. He works hard. He really wants to be the best. He has the most confidence out of anybody I've ever met. So I think it served him well so far. So hopefully he just keeps it going. I think that he will at Worlds do what he needs to do. But yeah, I mean, we're all on one team and we're just pulling for each other. We give him a hard time though. We give him a hard time all the time. So
Yeah.
he has a lot of fans and a lot of people who love him. We crush him at NJRTC just about his character, but he's a really good guy.
Nice. Good stuff. All right. So targeting the Bill Farrell, I'm guessing the only thing you're going to change in your training is you're trying to get a little bigger. Is that what we're talking about since you're not cutting weight?
Yeah, I got to keep getting bigger. Got to keep getting stronger. That's not the only thing I'm changing.
Okay.
I got to get better at wrestling, everybody's, Olympic year. So be a lot of good guys there. Obviously David Taylor comes back. Downey's still in the mix. Derringer will be up. Not to mention the guys who I've already lost to. So I got to get a lot better. My goal isn't just to be there, and I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win Olympic gold. I put myself in a great position if I can make the Olympic team because we're so deep in the U.S.
Totally. Is there anybody that you watch, like internationally or at the senior level, that you like to watch their style?
Yeah, I watch everybody. So I've watched a lot of Yazdani earlier this year, just to figure out what he's doing with his underhook. I work out of an underhook. I haven't really shown it much just because I haven't, I still need to work on it.
Yeah.
But it's really, he uses it as a pace tool, and he's really good there. I watch a lot of Otagaru. He's a young guy from Japan. He shoots a lot of shots the way I shoot him. But for the most part, I just like watching high-level wrestling. So you look at those guys and what they're doing at Worlds. I watch all those guys. And then we have a lot of great wrestlers here that I get to see whether I like it or not. And I pick from everybody. So I think that's helped me the most since being a kid, kind of high school. When I was in high school, I used to watch Ben Whitford. And then my senior level or my senior year, I made a big jump trying to wrestle like Ben Whitford.
No kidding.
But, you find guys and if they fit things that you do, you take from it, So it's been good for me.
Gotcha. Hey, any other things you want to tell Nate Jackson fans or Princeton wrestling fans?
No, I mean, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. We're doing a lot of good things over at Princeton, and get in.
You guys look like you have a tough schedule. You can also follow Coach Jackson at I am Nate Jackson.
Yep, that's Twitter. And then it's just Nate Jackson on Instagram.
Gotcha.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thanks for the time.